Hello everyone, this is Jake from CINECALIBER. In this video I'm actually going to be reviewing another film that I have recently seen, and that is a film called Furiosa. Um, Basically this is a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, which was a reboot of the Mad Max film series. That film had released in 2015. Both that film and this film, Furiosa, were directed by the great George Miller. And so, yeah, this basically is a prequel that goes over a character from the Mad Max film for Fury Road. Um, and let me tell you, that film, when it came out, was probably my favorite film of that year. I think I saw it 3 times in theaters. That's how much I liked that film. Um, it's kind of weird because this film was it was probably just as good, maybe not as good, but just right on the edge. And no one's really talking about it. There's not many people going to see it, which kind of sucked because again, it's very good. And Mad Max Fury Road, a lot of people did go see that. Like, it was one of the number one films of the 2015 year. So it's a bit unfortunate, and it's just kind of crazy to me that like no one is seeing that. But we're in a different time and age when it comes to films and going to the theaters now. So I mean, let's put it like this: this film, it came out 9 years after Mad Max Fury Road, so that's a long time. Part of that is due to there was some salary dispute going on against Warner Brothers. They weren't paying people enough money for the film, and then of course once that was resolved, COVID came. Then we had the writer's strike, actor strike, all that, and which created an even longer gap for this film to come out. And I think all that really just factors in why there's not that much interest in this film. And plus, it's a prequel. A lot of people would probably be more invested if it was a sequel, but being that it's a prequel, it just feels a little bit more prequels just don't do as well as sequels, in my opinion. Um, I think that if George Miller had decided to do a sequel instead, it would have done better. But and yeah, I think that like just all this just kind of went against it, unfortunately. But yeah, that's just some brief background of this film. We're going to go into the plot summary, which is this. This is from Wikipedia. Set 15 to 20 years before the events of Fury Road, in a desert wasteland where warlords fight over the last remaining sources of water, food, weapons, and gasoline, Furiosa traces the young title character's life from her kidnapping by the forces of warlord Dementus to her revenge on the warlord for the loss of her mother. For over a decade, she struggles to survive as a slave and, eventually, a trusted lieutenant of the Citadel's cult leader, Immortan Joe, and his military commander, Praetorian Jack. So yeah, let's go into what was a hit, the good of this film. So, right off the bat, I have to talk about the technical achievements that this film did. I mean, there were so many beautiful shots in this film. You literally could mute the entire film and you would still like it because the shots were just that well done. Like it's kind of crazy. Like there were so many scenes I just was so captivated by just the scenery. I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like they really shot this very well. And like there's just moments where you go over the scene just for a little bit, then you go over this scene. It just the imagery was just amazing in this film. And really, this film was shot for IMAX on certified cameras. Arri Alexa 65 was the main camera, and both the Red V, Raptor, and Komodo were used as secondary cameras. It wasn't shot as IMAX, but the cameras were close to it. Like if you go to see this film in an IMAX theater, you're not going to see it in true IMAX. Just keep that in mind if you decide to do that. I mean, I still recommend seeing this film on like the biggest screen with the best sound because it was just that good, but you're not going to get the IMAX feel. So really, and that goes into like the sound editing. I mean, the sound editing in this film was just amazing. Like George Miller made this film to be heard. I mean, with all the vehicle warfare that happens, the gunshots, the explosions, it just really makes the audience feel like they are in the moment of the film. I went to go see this movie at the drive-in, and I had cranked the volume up on my radio in my car. My wife was like, "Why is it so loud?" Because it's freaking Furiosa, and we have to experience it at the loudest. And I'm glad I did that because it truly, really did pay off in that moment. And then really just like besides that, I mean the action sequences are a spectacle. They those are the highlights of all these films in my opinion. I mean the one action sequence that happens, it's like where raiders kind of attack a war rig. I mean that scene took about 78 days to shoot with about 200 stunt performers working on it every day for those 78 days. That's insane. Like that's some true dedication, and it was a monumental scene. Like I loved every minute of it, and I thought it was like a great technical achievement that was done for this film. And really, too, I mean, just the practical effects and the costume designs in this film were just a spectacle. Just like in Fury Road. Like, for example, for that, I mean, they recasted the one character, Immortan Joe, in this. It used to be Hugh Keyes Byron, and now it's Lachy Hulme plays him. And literally, it was flawless. It was a flawless transition. I really couldn't tell you the difference. Like, the costume design was that good. Like, it felt like it was just the same character. I mean, Morton Joe is pretty much covered in a bunch of crap, but like the physique and everything, they just got it and they nailed it. And just for a fun fact for people, Byron, the original actor for Morton Joe, he actually was an antagonist in the original Mad Max film in the 70s known as Coat Cutter. Just putting that out there for anyone that wanted to know that. Another like good example of the costume design is John Howard as the People Eater. John Howard played the People Eater in Mad Max Fury Road, and he looked exactly the same. Like George Miller really like just got it completely down. Like I was like, oh my god, like he looks just how he did. Like he just does a tremendous job with just the effects, the costume design, cinematography. It's all great technical achievement that he has done in this film. And then also just the performances in this film are just outstanding. I mean, I have to say this is arguably Chris Hemsworth's best role, and I have to say it could be Emmy worthy. I really liked his performance that much in this film. I mean, the film does a great job like writing a complicated yet entertaining antagonist with Dementus. And that's who Chris Hemsworth plays. And there's times that like even though he's such a despicable villain, you can't help but root for him because like he's just such an entertaining character, and you know he's just no good, but like he just has that persona that you just can't you love to hate. You know, if I wanted to compare it to like Negan from The Walking Dead. You know, a method to the madness, truly atrocious, but like someone you still weirdly enough root for. I can't really explain it much more than that. And then I think the other true standout was Anya Taylor-Joy. She plays the character Furiosa. I mean, I actually enjoyed Anya's performance better than Charlize Theron, which is saying a lot because Charlize Theron did an amazing job as Furiosa in Fury Road. And like the writing for Furiosa's character in this film was just done splendidly. I kind of want to go into that a little bit here. So it's not really, it's like some slight spoilers, just so if you guys aren't into that, you guys can tune out now. But I'm just going to kind of go over into what I liked about the pacing with Furiosa's character. So the film is broken up into 5 chapters, basically. And each chapter basically explores Furiosa's character as she grows through the wasteland and through this apocalyptic world. Like, I love, like, chapter 1, just for me, like, deciphering it, that shows just how Furiosa understands the world. Like, she sees how brutal the wasteland can be. And then as that goes along, then you go into chapter 2. And then this is where she's learning how to navigate this brutal world and survive it through her own little manipulations. So, like, she starts, growing. And then chapter 3 is like the midpoint for her character. And it's like she's starting to become who we know her as in Fury Road, but she's still being a little bit too passive with how she wants to accomplish her goal, basically. But this is where she becomes like that battle-hardened warrior we know her as in Fury Road. and then you go into chapter 4, which then really it's like you see how she's learned all this stuff that she needs to finally get what she needs to do, but then there's like that one crucial moment that happens that she's not fully there yet. Like she's there, she's getting there, then all of a sudden something happens, and it's like, wait, I'm not done yet. I have to do one more thing before I can truly, go on my mission. And then chapter 4 or 5 is basically, she basically becomes a physical embodiment of the character that we see her in Fury Road. And like, this is where it taps into her full fury. And like the end of the chapter and this film, you basically see her character kind of rebirth into something that you didn't think you were going to see. But again, you kind of do, because again, it's a prequel, but by the end of it, you see that she is who she is in Fury Road. Like the film just covers it all, and it does such a tremendous job. So yeah, that was everything that was a hit for me in this film. And so we're going to go into what was a miss. Honestly, guys, I don't really have a lot. I loved this film. I have to say, I think the only thing I didn't like was that it just didn't match up to the epic Fury Road. I felt like there was a little bit better action sequences in Fury Road. It just kind of flowed a little bit better. But that's a minor criticism at best. This film was absolutely outstanding. So we're going to kind of go into the conclusion now for this film. And that is is just a film of caliber. So this film was truly a spectacle from start to finish. Its technical achievements, such as cinematography, the sound editing, action sequences, and the costume design, meshed with some truly outstanding performances by Chris Hemsworth, Anya Taylor, make this a fitting chapter to the Mad Max Fury Road saga and a worthy prequel to a fan favorite character known as Furiosa. Honestly, guys, I really recommend you guys to go see this. Without the audience seeing this, George Miller might not be able to continue this saga, and I know he at least has 2 more films he wants to make that are actually going to be sequels. So it would be a real shame that we don't get to see those 2 just because of, what's going on in the world with movies now. Like, just people not going to see it no more. People just kind of just waiting for it to come on streaming. I really recommend seeing this in the best theater environment that you can, and just pay the money, because it's a truly outstanding film, and it deserves every bit of honor that it was made for. So yeah, that was my thoughts on the film. If you guys have your own thoughts, please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel like always. And my final rating for this film, with all that said, I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. Yes, it was that good. Definitely one of the best films of the year for me. And yeah, definitely go see it. And yeah, that's all I have for today. And have a great night or day wherever you guys are at. This is Jake from CINECALIBER.